In this vlog, let us try to see the implementation of encoding in Post API request. So, in our previous tutorial, we have seen how to make a Post API request using getX library, and in this particular vlog, we will try to see how to make encoding in the Post API request. So, to implement encoding in our Post API request, we are making use of a HTTP library here. So, instead of a getX library, I am making use of a HTTP library to make an API call, and there I will be explaining you how to add encoding UTF-8 encoding to your Post API call. So now let us get started with this particular tutorial and try to see why we need to make encoding in our API and how easy it is to make encoding. So the very first thing is like we are going to add the HTTP library, and these are the two previous libraries for the project I have added, and just I'm removing those two libraries, and only we do require HTTP library here. And let us try to remove get connect as well here, and this is a previous tutorial code. I'm just making use of it, and here in this way you need to import the HTTP package, and I have made it easy like as HTTP I have specified so that we can easily type HTTP and make use of the packages available in this particular import. Let's try to remove this particular method which we have used for getX here, and now let's try to create a new method like fetch data itself, and this time we will be making use of HTTP library and making use of the methods available in it. And just like in the previous tutorial, let us try to specify the parameters here again. So I have just specified them in our previous tutorial, so same I'm just adding here also. And user type is the second parameter here, and this is admin now. So now let us try to create a variable and to track the response now. So we have declared like as HTTP, right, our dependency, and also this is a redundant import, we can just remove it. And HTTP dot, you'll be getting the API calls like post, delete, get, read. So now let us try to make use of post here and try to specify the URL. So URI dot parse, and here inside which we'll be specifying the URI here, and here clearly you can see the second parameter is body. So let us try to specify body here and its data and just make it in a new line, and the third one is encoding now. So now let us try to specify encoding here dot get by name, and here we are going to specify the encoding which I have for my API is like UTF-8, and that's it. It's very simple. This way you can just specify the encoding for the API calls here. And now let's try to print the response here, response dot then, and we will be getting the value now. So let's try to print this particular value onto the screen, value dot body here. And now let's try to run this particular code in the simulator and try to observe the output once. And here the main motto here is like we want to add encoding to our post API request, but why do we require encoding? So encoding ensures an additional security for your API calls here, and also UTF-8 encoding can be used for encoding data in API request and response, including HTTP headers, request and response bodies. It is important to ensure that the API endpoints and all the data exchanged between the server and client are properly encoded. So this is the main purpose of using UTF-8 encoding here, and there are also several other encodings. So when you just tap on the encoding here, you can see you will be getting an ISO based encoding, ASCII based encoding, and here this is a UTF-8 encoding which we are going to use in this particular tutorial. So now let us try to see the output once. I'm just trying to run the code in the simulator. So now here you can see our build is completed and we have got the output onto the screen. And now let's try to tap on the fetch data here, and here you can see we have got a response printed. So here this is the best way to add encoding to your Post API request in your Flutter application. So if you are having any queries like what are all the required methods available in the post, so just tap on command button here on post or control in Windows, and you can just see what are all the available options. And regarding the encoding, you can just tap on encoding here and try to see the list of encodings available here, and also based on your API you need to choose out of this one. So yeah, this is it for this particular tutorial, and the code for this tutorial is available in the description section below. And if you like this tutorial, do like, share and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content on Flutter.